Eden Zero is back, and we start off where we left off with Witch defeating Wizard. After that, she then immediately gives her code to the Eden Zero, so this way Hermit can shut the whole system down. Now all that's left is Valkyrie's. Unfortunately, she's still in her fight with Briggenheim, and so is Homeru with Agnolia. But Homer's fight is going nowhere. Unfortunately, she's stuck in her spaceship, so she can't actually fight properly. But then she decides to take a massive risk, where she then goes into overdrive and jumps out of her ship into the void of space. As you can imagine, Valkyrie starts to freak out about this because her student just jumped out of the void of space and she's not an android. The thing is, Homura survives this somehow or another, and she explains that Hermit's theory was that overdrive can overcome any element, including the void of space apparently. And apparently it also gives you the ability to talk through space, even though it's a void, because she's able to communicate with Valkyrie. Now, I understood Valkyrie being able to communicate with everyone else because, they're computers, so they can just talk through their minds. But the fact that Homura can now talk doesn't make any sense. It's still a void. Doesn't matter if you have immunity to it because of your overdrive. As when we quickly learn that this chapter is dedicated to the relationship between Valkyrie and Homura, where Valkyrie is very much remembering raising and taking care of Homura and all the things that she had to go through. Homura can now engage with Agnolia in, sword-to-sword combat, or in this case, sword-to-tentacle combat. Agnolia has no actual interest in fighting her head-on, and she actually summons one of her dragons to basically eat her. And Homura responds by cutting the fucking thing in half. Like it is a complete clean cut from mouth to tail. Now, Agnolia actually still has an advantage on this because she just flooded Homura with more dragons than she can handle. She would have been able to overwhelm her, but for some reason she doesn't do that. She's just too surprised by the fact that one of her dragons was cut down by a human. And that's when both Homura and Valkyrie do the exact same attack, Warrior Maiden single sword attack. And in that instance, they both at the same exact time finish their fights just with that one attack. Brigheim isn't just cut down, his axe is cut in half and he's just taken out. So that means another Valkyrie had to take out a counterpart of theirs. It's unclear if that was her brother or her husband or whatever, but yeah, she cut him down. As for Homura, she literally just one-shotted Agnolia, so that was anticlimactic. We knew that Agnolia was already weak in the sense because she didn't really fight in the last universe either, really. She just used her dragons to do everything. So I'm not surprised she lost so easily. My point is, she should have just flooded Homura with all of her dragons she could, so this way she didn't, get cut down so easily. But I guess she just underestimated Homura. I mean, it seemed that her strategy wasn't to beat Homura from the beginning, it was just to stall out her overdrive until that happened and she just suffocated. Not a great plan. She should have just attacked her with full force, but whatever. But anyway, that attack used up all of Homura's strength, and she started to lose her overdrive. Valkyrie immediately rushed over to her, grabbed her, and threw her back into her ship. And so now Valkyrie can hand over her code over to Hermit, so they can completely shut down the Eden Zero. So it's now just dead in space, but the bomb is no longer going off. Well, it doesn't make sense that all the dragons just shut off now. I mean, in the last universe, Elsie had to turn off all the dragons using her mother's device. So the fact they all just went dead all of a sudden, now that Agnolia is gone? I mean, does that mean the device was inside of Agnolia? Which doesn't make sense as well. I don't understand why all the dragons just shut down all of a sudden. Is this some kind of loophole that Mashima forgot about? I'm kind of confused about this. Anyway, now that the Eden Zero has been shut down completely, it's completely defenseless by the last member of the Ratio Seis Galactica, which is, of course, this sword god that we just don't know anything about. Which means they're most likely going to appear in the next chapter. Either that, or we're going to have the fight between Killer and Weiss, which, you know what, now that I think about it, yeah, it's going to be the Killer and the Weiss fight, and then after that, then the Sword God will appear, and she'll basically demolish the entire Eden Zero crew. That's my theory anyway. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up so you can enjoy more Eden Zero and other amazing things. Thank you, and have a great day.